Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today is Swamiji's birthday, and I hope you all had an amazing weekend. So let's get started. Radhe Radhe Nitinji, over to you.
Radhe Radhe Sandhya, Radhe Radhe everyone. Thank you Vijayji for a wonderful session. Ramasya Anuja Lakshman Ramen Saha Vanam Gacchati.
Samichinam. Spot on. Both Samichinam.
Dhanyavadaha. So Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening everyone. Dhanyavadaha, Namo Namaha Vijayji. See you next week.
See you next.
Good morning, good evening everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today is a special day, like Sandhya called out, it's Swamiji's birthday. So towards the end of our session, we will devote time to showing you a few clips, and also would love to hear from you, especially if you have gotten an opportunity to meet Swamiji, and the wishes or your experience, if you want to narrate about it. So we will spend some time on that today. Towards the end of our session, we'll probably substitute it with our devotional segment today, because I'm sure a lot of people would have had amazing experiences and they can talk about that and share with all of us as well. So without much ado, let me start sharing my screen and we will get started with today's topic that we have been talking about, Brahma, Jeeva, Maya, and today we move on to the YogMaya aspect of God, and that is what we are going to talk about. And we have a short lecture from Swamiji as well to recap the concept of Maya that we have been discussing as well. So let me share my screen and we will get underway. Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Great. So we'll get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right, Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. So let's move on to today's topic. I picked up the shloka chapter 7 verse 25 to bring in the concept of YogMaya, as Lord Krishna is talking about. He's telling Arjun, and that is what we will get into. And also, like I said, we will see a short lecture from Swamiji on the concept of Maya as well. So let's get started. I'm going to recite it and you're welcome to follow along. Naham prakasha sarvasya YogMaya samavritah Mudhoyam nabhijanati Loko mamajam avyayam. All right.
Yes. Radhe Radhe Surya Prakashji.
Radhe Radhe Surya Prakashji.
Radhe Radhe, morning.
Morning.
Naham prakasha sarvasya YogMaya samavritaha mudoyam nabhijanati loko mama
Mamajam
vyayam.
Thank you, Surya Prakashji. Radhe Radhe. Mamajam ajam avyayam. All right.
Rahulji. Yeah, Radhe Radhe Rahulji. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Rahul.
Radhe Radhe. Naham prakasha sarvasya YogMaya samavritah mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam vyayam. Radhe Radhe.
Mam ajam avyayam. Thank you. Very nice. All right, let's take a few more hands.
Yes, Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sumesh.
Radhe Sandhya ji. Naham prakasa sarvasya yogamaya samavitaha mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mamajamavyayam.
Very
Radhe
nice,
Radhe.
Sumesh. Radhe Radhe.
Sam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Sam.
Radhe Radhe. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita mudoyam nati janati loko mam ajam avyayam. Radhe
Very
Radhe.
nice, Sam ji. Radhe Radhe. All right, let's pick up a couple of remaining hands.
Yes, Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Riya ji.
Radhe Radhe. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. Radhe
Wonderful,
Radhe.
Riya ji. All right, last couple of hands then.
Yes, Uday Kumar ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Na aham prakashah sarvasya yogamaya samavritah moodoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. Radhe Radhe.
Wonderful, Uday ji. Radhe Radhe. All right, last but not the least, Sandhya.
Yes, yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam.
Very nice, thank you. All right, so let's get started. In this shloka, Lord Krishna is bringing in the introducing YogMaya. He's saying Naham Prakasha Sarvasya YogMaya Samavritah. So basically, he's saying that I'm not manifest to everyone, being veiled by my divine YogMaya energy. And furthermore, he goes on to say, hence, those without knowledge do not know that I am without birth and changeless. Now, he's saying that there's a veil through which he's covered. We know that God has actually permeated the entire universe. He's present in every atom, including present inside us as well. But we don't have his, we can't perceive him. And that is because he's covered by his Yogmaya energy, and he will reveal himself, as our scriptures tell us, when we have reached a certain stage. Then he'll automatically reveal himself. Until that point, he will continue to be veiled by his energy. In fact, because we have had countless lives, previous lives, we have actually seen God. We have actually seen him with these eyes like we are seeing each other. But we have not been able to figure out he's God. In fact, even now, God might show up from time to time. He may show up. He does from time to time. Even in a temple, you may see an old man sitting there doing something, or Ram Katha is going on. So God can do his leelas in any form. But the fact that the reason why we are not able to perceive God is because he hides himself using his special energy, which is called YogMaya. And we will go a little deeper into this concept to understand what is this YogMaya energy. This is the third entity, right? We're talking about. We've spoken about Maya, we spoke about Jeev, Shakti, and today we will talk about the YogMaya Shakti. How, see, in order for us to do anything, we need energy and power. And God also uses his energy. His energy is the special energy, YogMaya power, that he uses to get so many things accomplished. Okay, that is what we will discuss today. But before we get started, let's start with a lecture from Swamiji on the trap of Maya, just to go through some of the concepts around Maya before we get deeper into this topic. Let me know if you are able to hear the audio. Audio is okay? All right, give me a sec.
Yeah, audio is okay.
Okay, cool. Now I'm just going to make it a little faster so that All right, let me now play it.
This material energy, Maya, has created an illusion. And what is the illusion? Maya means, does anybody know what Maya means? That which is not. So Maya creates the illusion that you are separate from God while you are actually one with Him. You are a tiny part of Him. So we have our eternal relationship with God, but under this illusion that I am separate from Him, we have spent lifetimes. And the ignorance is making us think that we will be subject to death and again birth and again death and again birth, while the fact is that we, the souls, are eternal, immortal, ever existing. We are running after the miseries of this world, thinking there is happiness in them. We are paranoidly fearful of death, while the soul does not have any death. It merely changes bodies like we change clothes every day. So this ignorance within us is separating us from God. That ignorance needs to be eradicated. How will we eradicate it? Vedavyas says, Anadya vidya yuktasya purushasya vedanam swatona sambhavadanyas tattvagyo jnanado bhavet. He says, the ignorance is in our intellect itself. So the intellect, by its own contemplation, cannot remove its ignorance. Just like, can you catch your bootstraps and lift yourself up? No. Why not? There is no basis to lift yourself up. Similarly, the ignorance is in the intellect. Now the intellect will go on thinking. It will not be able to figure out its mistakes. But the mistakes are all there. We want happiness, we get misery. We want life, we go towards death. We want peace and we get agitation. So these are all signs of ignorance. That ignorance is there in all of us. Now, with the ignorance in the intellect, no matter how much the intellect contemplates, it cannot completely remove its defects. I like to give the example of one Gopal, one cowherd boy. He used to milk a cow. It was the Indian Gorani. It had big horns, and those horns, because of a deformity, were bent inwards like this. So between the two horns and the top of the head, there was this triangular space. Now this cowherd boy, while milking the cow, he used to eye that space and think, can my head go through it or not? Can my head go through it or not? People have all their whimsical habits, like when people walk on the floor, I should walk on the, leaving out the grooves, or I should walk on the grooves. Everybody has their mind falls into a fancy. So his mind had fallen into this fancy, can my head go through that gap? Every day while milking the cow, this used to be his thought. After 1.5 years, his curiosity got the better of him. He said, today I have to try it out. He grabbed the horns of the cow and pushed his head in. Now the head did go in, but the cow got startled because it's in its 3.5 years lifespan, nobody had ever done this to it. So the cow lifted its head up in complaint, and his feet were raised from the ground. He thought, what is this, death by hanging? To remove the pressure from his neck, he grabbed the cow's neck. Now the cow started lifting its hind legs and moving away. He said, I'm going to die, come and save me. The villagers came, they grabbed him, and they grabbed the cow as well and extracted him from there. They said, my dear fellow, are you crazy? Avivekaha paramapadam. There's a sutra Chanakya Pandit has written. if you act without discrimination, it can lead to tremendous disaster. Did you not think before you put your head there? He said, who said I did not think? I thought for 1.5 years, then I put my head there. Now, he did think for 1.5 years, but his thinking was all wrong. So, Ved Vyasa says the same is the problem here. You go on and on thinking. Your mind as yet is full of the defects of anger, hatred, greed, envy, illusion. You will not be able to attain perfect knowledge. Now, the other source is the books, the scriptures. If you want knowledge, you access the scriptures. These Vedic scriptures have perfect knowledge in them. And there are so many scriptures. So we will read the scriptures and gather knowledge. The scriptures themselves tell us that they cannot be understood without a teacher. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeksyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. The Bhagavad Gita says, Sri Krishna tells Arjun that Arjun, find a guru, approach him submissively, inquire into the absolute truth. He shall impart that knowledge unto you. The Bhagavatam says, Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam shabde pareja nishnatam brahmanyupashamashrayam. We need to find such a guru who's a theoretical and practical person. In other words, somebody who has understood these scriptures and practically realized their meaning. Such a guru will impart this knowledge to us. And the Bhagavatam says, Vijnanartham sa gurum eva vigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Tad vijnanartham, in order to know God, sa gurum eva vigachet. Approach a guru. So the scriptures are telling us that find a teacher, just like we get knowledge in the material realm. If we wish to learn science or arts, we find a teacher and we have the textbooks. With the help of this, we acquire knowledge. Swami Vivekananda said, the living secrets must be passed down from master to disciple in every science, much more so in spiritual science. So there's a difference between a teacher who gives material knowledge and a teacher who gives spiritual knowledge, the guru, the sadguru. The teacher who is giving material knowledge is materially motivated. The teacher who is giving spiritual knowledge has no material motivation. He is giving it out of compassion. He is merely giving it to help the disciple. That's a big, big difference. This guru is selfless. And because he is selfless, he is trustworthy. So how did that guru get the knowledge? He got it from his guru. How did that guru get the knowledge? He got it from his guru. How did he get the knowledge? He got it from his guru. So this is how the knowledge is coming. Sri Krishna talks about it in the Bhagavad Gita. So how did the first guru get the knowledge? So Maharshi Patanjali says, they got it from God himself. Those gurus who were so elevated, who were at that platform where they had reached God, they got it directly from God himself. So what is the position of God? He is the guru, even of the earliest gurus. Now what do we do? Supposing we don't have a guru. How do we go ahead on this path? Do we need to wait till we find a guru? No, because then we might keep waiting all our life. That's not recommended. It's not a good policy. If we don't have a guru, you try and understand from the saints, from the scriptures, and whatever you have understood, put it in practice.
All right. So hope it helped address one of the common doubts. What do we do if we don't have a guru, right? Because guru is a must-have on the path of spirituality, but what we can do is whatever little we have understood, we keep practicing that, and then in due course of time, Guru will appear. When disciple is ready, Master will appear. So let's move on to the topic of our discussion today. Like I said, we are going to discuss today the power, special power of God, the third entity that we have not discussed so far. We are going to introduce that today, like the shloka does, which makes impossible things possible. Okay. So let's get started on this one. Okay, we'll start off with a story. Here is the Manikarnika Ghat in Kashi. Okay, some of you might have gone there or heard about it. Okay. So near this Manikarnika Ghat, I've never been to Kashi. I would love to go there one of these days. So near that Manikarnika Ghat, in one of the streets, a very narrow street in Kashi, there are very narrow streets. So in that narrow street, once Shankaracharya ji was traveling. He was walking towards the ghat on one of the narrow streets. And Shankaracharya ji, when he was traveling, there was a old lady with a dead husband. She was basically, what do you call that, obstructing the road, because it was a narrow street. So this lady was actually sitting there with her dead husband's body in front of him, lying in front of him. And that was obstructing the path of Shankaracharya as he was walking. Now, he says, and then she was wailing and said, okay, why did my husband die? So Shankaracharya gave him, you know that we are soul and people depart and all that stuff. And he gave her all the gyan so that she could get out of her grief. But then this lady said that, why are you talking to me? Why can't you tell this guy who's lying in front? Why don't you explain that to him, and so that he can make way for you? So Shankaracharya said, have you lost your mind? In grief, that you don't understand that dead people cannot get off just by their own. So this lady said that, you only said that God is Avyakt and Shakti Rahit. Right? When without Shakti, he can create all of this universe and this existence, then why can't this guy without Shakti can't move by himself? Shankaracharya was stunned, hearing her argument, because it was pretty profound. And he said, Shankaracharya was not an ordinary soul, right? Shankaracharya was Shankar Bhagwan's avatar himself, who had come to restore the Vedic knowledge. In fact, Shankaracharya had defeated Vedvyas in Badrikashram. Vedvyas is considered Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi means ever living. Even now he's living. I don't know whether he'll meet you in person or not, if you go to Badrikashram or not, but then he still exists there. And Shankaracharya, he actually went to meet Vedvyas, and there was a 7-day Shastrarth that happened. And he defeated him in that Shastrarth. And Vedvyas was so pleased, he said, go ahead and start preaching him. He said, I defeated Vedvyas, and here is a lady who's finding a gaping hole in my theory that I've been, basically preaching all around. He said that God is Avyakt and Shakti Rahit. That is what Shankaracharya preached. And so much so that he was able to push Buddhism out. Buddhism had come in because people had lost faith in Vedas because of the way they were being utilized at that point in time. Bali Pratha had taken over and all that stuff. So Buddha said, let's wipe the slate clean and forget about the Vedas. And after Buddha left, Shankaracharya came and he restored the Vedas. Vedas are manuals, right, that God himself had created. So he established those again in true spirit, basically the way they were. But he actually promulgated the message of Nirakar Brahma, that God is Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvishesh. That is the theory he promoted around that time. And here is a lady who found a gaping hole. She said that if God can do it without energy or Shakti, why can't this guy who's lying in front can move? You can talk to him and he can do the same. Right? That means works can be accomplished without power. That was the argument she presented. Shankaracharya understood she's not an ordinary lady. He closed his eyes, and when he opened his eyes, the scene, the whole scenario had changed. Instead of that lady, Ma Durga was Sakshat Ma Durga with her 10 arms was in front of him. And when he looked at her, there was stuti that came out of his mouth, which is known as Anand Lahari. Later on, he went on to write Saundarya Lahari and other things as well. But he actually, those words were captured as Anand Lahari on seeing the divine YogMaya power of God. Okay. So Durga did that Leela with Shankaracharya to illustrate the point that it is through his special power God achieves all the outcomes in this world. And the theory that you are promulgating, actually, it has a flaw in it. Okay, so that Anand Lahari came. So the point here is that this is the special power of God. Like a dead man cannot move, there are so many works the God gets accomplished in this world. That is through his special power, which is called YogMaya. That is what we are going to talk about. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's look at the Bhakti Shatak. Bhakti Shatak, Maharaj Ji has also spoken about this. See, Bhakti Shatak is, I always say that, right? And Maharaj Ji has written 100, compositions, which pretty much encapsulates the entire essence of our scriptures. Okay, I say Gagar mein Sagar, right? And he also talks about this concept, right, of YogMaya power that God talks about. What he says is, and he says, see, अंतरंग है परा जो सर्व समर्थ कहाय अति विचित्र गति परा की मायापति हूं न चाहे. What does he say about this Parashakti of God, the Yogamaya Shakti of God, or the Swarupa Shakti of God? They are all the same name, or the Antarang Shakti. They are all the same name of Krishna. He says this Parashakti, which is the supreme personal power of Krishna, is capable of accomplishing anything and everything. Anything and everything. It can turn any impossibility into possibility. Although it resides in Krishna, sometimes it overpowers even all-powerful Krishna, as seen in the loving Leelas or pastimes of Braj. Okay. All the pastimes of Braj, as we see, we'll talk about that as well, they are accomplished by this Yogamaya Shakti. The pastimes of Braj is the highest Leelas the God can perform. And Bhakti Shatak is the highest possible encapsulation of all the scriptural wisdom that we have. It covers everything in it. And I think it is called, what do you call it? It's the mount. It's like the Mansarovar of what do you call that? The Vedic wisdom, so to say. Mansarovar is in Kailash, right? And where all the swans they congregate. So it is the Mansarovar of Brajras rather. So Brajras is the epitome of all the rasas, and it is the Mansarovar of that. That is what Maharaj Ji has encapsulated in his Bhakti Shatak. And to capture the essence of scriptures in 100 couplets, you can imagine how much profound knowledge each one of these would have. So he's also talking about what he's saying, that in addition to see Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya YogMaya Samavritah, Lord Krishna is saying that is the veil I have. Right? YogMaya, through YogMaya power, I am hidden to people. We can't perceive God even though he's seated within us. We can't see him although he's permeating every atom of this universe. So that is through his YogMaya. Maharaj Ji goes on to the extent of saying that God actually becomes subservient to his power. Right? Not only it accomplishes impossible things, makes it possible, but it overpowers even the all-powerful Krishna. Overpowers. That's a very strong statement. Right? That means even God doesn't understand sometimes how much it gets overpowered. In fact, when we'll get deeper into this topic, we'll get into some of deeper concepts, such as, when the depth of bhakti, even Yogamaya serves God, right? Even Krishna cannot understand. Now you will say, how will Shaktiman not understand his own Shakti? But that is how it is. Even he doesn't understand, and sometimes he takes avatar, like he did of Gaurang Mahaprabhu, just to experience the depth of that bhakti. So the power has so much of depth that even God gets confused at times, okay, and it continues to serve him. So it's a little deep concept, but we'll at least try to do some theoretical gymnastics around it. So let's go further on this concept. Now, God descends. If you look at it, all of his avatars, Ram avatar, Krishna avatar, Narsingh avatar, Kurma, and all the avatars, even the avatars are enabled by virtue of his YogMaya energy. If God did not have his YogMaya energy, he will not be able to take avatar. And his divine pastimes, his abode, divine bliss and love on earth plane, all that is manifested by virtue of his YogMaya power. That is how much important this power is. Okay. Furthermore, so if you look at it, you see, right, we don't know what is behind the cloud. It's difficult to see that, right? If you come to Himachal in winters, this is a very common sight. So beyond this is China, by the way. That's what I see in Himachal. Okay, there's a place called Daddi. You see mist, and once the mist clears up, there's a mountain, and beyond mountain there is China. There's nothing else to see. But this veil that you are seeing is his divinity is veiled from us, is the concept here. We are not able to feel his presence, although he's seated in our hearts. And even in the present, we are fortunate enough to see Lord in his personal form. We cannot recognize him. Like I said, it is quite possible, you know, God comes to Arkiti temple also periodically, like Hanumanji came once. But even if he comes, we will not be able to understand. We may in fact scold him and say, you know, you're bringing shoes inside. We may well tell him that. You never know that. But we then never know when God comes in and in what form he may come in. Because he's hidden by his YogMaya power, we will never be able to know that. Okay? He could come in as an old man, he could come in as a small boy. In fact, in a lot of his pastimes, we have seen him as well. Right? Like Maharaji said, we have taken countless lifetimes we have, and we have seen God. We might have seen him as an attractive boy, or as a competent boy, or somebody pretty interesting, but we were not able to make out the divinity of his personality, and that divinity is hidden through his YogMaya power. That is the only power which can hide his divinity. Otherwise, it will manifest. It will enable him to hide his thing. So until we are eligible for his divine vision, YogMaya keeps God's divine form concealed from us. Even Arjun was not able to see that, right? So Krishna, when he gave him the divine vision, then he could see him in his full glory. So only when we get an upgrade, like we get an upgrade, right, for our phones and laptops and everything. Similarly, when we become God realized, we get an upgrade. Upgraded eyes, upgraded intellect, upgraded mind, and through that upgrade, we are able to see God the way he is. So it's through his grace. How does he grace? He graces through YogMaya. And then through that, we are able to perceive him the way he is. So this whole thing is enabled by the YogMaya power of God only. Okay. Let's move further. Now, possible. Let's look at some of the things. Are these possible or not? And that is where we will have a little bit of a discussion, thought around it as well. Is it possible? Can somebody walk without feet? Anybody who agrees they can? Pretty straightforward question. Can somebody hear without ear? Can somebody see without eyes? Can somebody be present at multiple locations at same time? No, we cannot. Can somebody be the smallest and the biggest at the same time simultaneously? Not possible, right? Your common sense will tell you it's not possible. It is impossible. Yes, I agree. However, this is where this becomes possible through the YogMaya power of God. Right? Ramayana say, bin pag chalahu, sunehu binu kana, prabhu vyapak sarvatra samana. So God, he doesn't need eyes or ears basically, or feet to walk, or ears to listen. He's listening everything. He's listening even to what we are telling ourselves quietly. He's listening to every thought that is getting generated in our head. And his eyes are all over the place. He's watching everything. The CCTV cameras are all over the place and everything is getting recorded. There's absolutely no concept of privacy whatsoever. That is who God is. Okay? And he can be present at multiple locations at the same time. There is a beautiful Leela in Bhagavatam where Narad Ji goes to each one of his palaces and Krishna every time he's welcoming him, come Narad Ji, and he's welcoming him, and at some places he's with one queen doing one thing, another palace he's doing another thing with another queen. 16,108 queens, right? He's present with all of them at the same time, and at the same time he might be taking another avatar somewhere. At the same time he's permeating the entire universe. At the same time he's residing within us, noting our karmas as well. So how is he accomplishing this impossible feat? Right? How can somebody do all that? How can somebody be? Through his YogMaya power. How can he be the smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest? Right? Those dichotomy, so to say, in God's personality. How is he able to pull off these contradicting attributes simultaneously without any fuss? Because of his YogMaya power. So this is what YogMaya power of God is. It can make impossible possible. And let's talk a little bit. You see the Leela here? He's actually freaked out, Krishna, when Yashoda is showing him the stick. Yes, it is a stick only. And Krishna is a little upset and scared also. Now, if Krishna knows that he's God, and Yashoda Maya knows that he's God, the ras in Leela will be taken away. There's absolutely no ras in the Leela. So in that particular moment, through his YogMaya power, Krishna makes himself forget also. YogMaya power, it overpowers him at that point. So he's actually scared like a kid would be scared when he looks at a stick. Now that's a different matter. His Aishwarya Shakti and all, they secretly come and serve him because they think my master is in a problem or great danger. But at that moment, through his YogMaya power, he not only makes his devotees forget, but himself forget as well. So that the ras of the Leela is multiplied. And they are actually in that act at that moment, not just doing a role play. Okay, that is the power of YogMaya Shakti. Any other Leelas that come to your mind? So, any questions, by the way? This is a very important concept. We'll get more deeper into this. What other things YogMaya power enables Lord to do? But any questions so far based on what we have discussed? Okay, somebody is going to ask a question and then few more hands will cut up. Okay, this is how it usually starts. So somebody has to do that. Yes, Shyamji.
Radhe Radhe Shyamji.
Radhe Shyamji.
Radhe
I'll tell
Radhe
you
Bhai.
about a couple of other Leelas also, which are enabled through his YogMaya power. I mean, these are just the examples. Yes, Shyamji, go ahead.
So you mean to say that Krishna Bhagavan, when he was born, nobody knew he is the God. It was always YogMaya power, illustrated by his powers.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
through his
pretty compelling.
YogMaya powers, he makes himself forget as well at that point. So that the rest of that Leela is multiplied. It's not insipid at that point. And he makes his devotee for, see, if Yashoda Maya is always in awe and reverence of Krishna, that, oh my God, he's not my Lala, he's actually God, Brahmanda Nayak, I saw the universe inside his mouth. Then that motherly affection, that Vatsalya Bhav will evaporate. And Krishna doesn't like that. In Braj, Varchit, the Aishwarya Shakti and all that is Varchit. They cannot enter. And through YogMaya power, he makes them forget. He did the same to his friends also after that Leela, Govardhan Leela happened also. People started, suspect him that he is much more than this little boy. He make them forget through his YogMaya power.
Okay. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Aparna ji.
Yes, Radhe Radhe Aparna ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Sorry. No, Radha and Krishna are two different forms of himself, right? Krishna only. Is that also YogMaya?
True. So we'll get into that concept. YogMaya power, the Shakti and Shaktiman sambandh that they have, right? Radha, Krishna, Sita, Ram, Lakshmi, Narayan, Shiva, Parvati, they are the Shakti aspect of it is all the YogMaya power. It's similar to Shaktiman, it also manifests in different forms. There's absolutely no bhed in them. It's like milk and whiteness, heat, light and fire, sugar and sweetness, inseparable. They are both inseparable. But in Leela Jagat, to duplicate the ras, multiply the ras, they take on two forms. In fact, we'll get into that concept as well. The very first verse of Bhakti Shatak talks about that, right? Advitiya Tattva hai, Radha Krishna basically. So basically both are Advitiya, they are same and absolutely no different at all. Just female form of Krishna, you can say it as a Radha, the most compassionate, loving form. Yes. So now there was any other question, Aparnavi or Abhishek ji had something to ask as well,
No,
and then
thank
I'll
you,
talk
Ji.
you about a couple of other stories as well. You know, the kind of leela that God can perform using his YogMaya power. Yes, Abhishek ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Abhishek ji. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
I wanted to know that when the god takes avatar, so is he governed by Maya or still he uses his Yog Maya Shakti?
God can never be governed by Maya. Maya is subservient to God always. It's like the darkness can never overpower sun. Similarly, Maya can never overpower God. So God has said in verse chapter 9, verse 11, that he sent Avajananti Mamudha Manushim Tanumashritam Param Bhavam Janante Mam Bhuta Maheshwaram. So he says that when I come in Manushim Tanumashritam means in Manav Sharir, people do not recognize me. They think I am an ordinary mortal, or I've become a human, or I've come under Maya, or somebody under the influence of Maya, but actually I'm not. He's just doing an act at that point. So he's never under the influence of Maya. He may be putting on an act, but actually Maya can never overpower him. Maya is actually subservient. But through YogMaya, he does that Leela and makes his devotees forget so that he can carry on that Leela more effectively, right? So that he can impart the ras that they deserve to get because they have perfected a bhav. So he may put on an act, but he's never under the influence. So Maya can never overpower God. Make sense? I hope I answered your question, Abhishek.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Maya can never overpower God. Yeah. That's a fact. Yes, Sandhya?
There's a question from Monica Ji. She's asking if Krishna himself get overpowered by YogMaya, what chances do we stand?
So, YogMaya does not have to overpower us. We are anyway under the influence of his inferior energy, Maya. If YogMaya, yeah, very true, we don't stand a chance for sure. Because YogMaya can overpower even Krishna, and YogMaya is the energy because of which we cannot perceive Krishna, right? But YogMaya will make us visible, Krishna visible to us as well, as soon as we have the eligibility for it, right? Once our Antakaran is purified, once we are perfectly surrendered, then YogMaya will enable us to see Krishna as well. So it's not the job of YogMaya to keep Krishna away from us, but to keep that veil that is needed until we have the eligibility. So very true in that sense. But for us, we are under the sway of Maya, which is the inferior energy of God. So YogMaya, of course. And God might be exercising YogMaya. I was telling the other day, right? It is quite possible that God comes, in day-to-day lives also to help devotees or people around. And through his YogMaya, he may make things seem as normal. Like I was telling an example, there may be a lady whose husband is far away in some other continent, and she's having some kind of an emergency, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. Somebody comes and helps her out and say, hey, you were supposed to come after 2 months. Her husband is there on the door. And he said, no, you know what? My assignment got over and I just dropped in, and then God will make it seem very normal. Those kind of situations do happen in our life. We get an help from an unprecedented quarter. We don't know why somebody came and helped us. So God is acting through his YogMaya, where he's hiding his identity. At the same time, he might be giving us a push somewhere here and there. Quite possible. It's only through his power that he hides his true identity.
Monica Ji says she's apologizing that she's unable to turn on her video.
No worries.
And I have one question, a follow-up of what you just said. So, yeah, there are some instances when we feel like in a particular situation, maybe we are meeting a person who's like angel of God or God himself in some form. How do you kind of proceed in such situations? Like how,
How do you what?
like if you're getting that feeling at some point of time in some circumstance, what do you really do?
I don't know. See, it's just like this. You will feel the attraction towards the magnet based on how much ferrous element you carry in you yourself. So people who are really pure, I mean, if you look at kids, they get attracted towards saintly personalities just like that. I mean, I've seen some of the kids, even here in temple, they just go and start hugging Swamiji. You know, it's a very spontaneous thing. They just go and latch on to him and stuff like that because they have that purity. So similarly, as adults, when we have purity, that attraction that is very much stronger. And if attraction is not there, that means a lot of work is still needed. So one part is, of course, when you come in contact or vicinity of a fireball, you start feeling the heat. You can just gauge from the symptoms, but beyond that, there's no other way to know it, right? Because until we are God realized, we'll not be able to know. So Sant Eknath was there in Pandharpur, by the way. Krishna served him as a servant for 12 years without him knowing that it was Krishna. How did it make it happen? Through his YogMaya power. Until one devotee came and he wanted to meet Krishna in Mathura, and he said, go to this Eknath, Sant Eknath, and the servant there, that is where you can meet Krishna. He served him for 12 years. And by the way, there was another story of Vidyapati. He was a poet in Bengal. Okay. And Shankarji, as Ugna, he served him as a servant and used to follow his instructions. And on one of Ganga Tat, he asked for Ganga, and because Ganga comes from his jatas, right? He manifested Ganga one day. And then he realized, this guy, Vidyapati, realized it's Shankar Bhagwan himself, and he apologized. I've been taking seva from you all these years. And, I'm such a sinner and this, that. And then then that Shiv Bhagwan said that don't tell it to anyone. Otherwise, I will vanish. It's my privilege to do that. Okay. But then he could not get, basically, now that he understood that his Shiv, that equation changed, he started serving him instead. And his wife, she did not like it. So one day she started scolding him big time. She got annoyed that you have got a special corner for your servant, and the equation between master and servant is changing. And one day she got so upset that she started beating Ugna up, who was Lord Shiv, nonetheless Lord Shiv himself. And then this guy had to say that. He had to intervene and tell that. But because he had given that promise to Shiv, now he had to depart. So these kind of incidents do happen where God comes and actually serves his devotees. And how is he able to hide his identity? He actually loves to serve his devotees. In fact, it is said that God, he walks behind his devotee so that he can take his foot dust. And when he gets the foot dust of his devotee, he feels very good. To that level, God goes to that extent. But how is he able to hide his identity despite going out of the way? Through his YogMaya power. That is the power of his YogMaya Shakti that he uses. All the avatars that he takes, every big work that he gets accomplished is through his YogMaya power only. That brings us to the point. That's a topic for tomorrow, by the way. So, can a Nirakar Brahma, or can God grace without his YogMaya power? Yes or no? And it's a very philosophical, interesting discussion, because in Gyan Marg, you go with Nirakar Brahma. You go with the formless, light aspect of it. Now, that light aspect, we will get into a detail and see if it has an ability to grace or not. Okay, tomorrow's topic discussion. Yes, let's take a question. And then we'll show you some interesting clips and videos because it was Swamiji's birthday. And I would love to hear from a lot of participants who have had the privilege to meet Swamiji. I can't wait to hear their stories. I think there was a Bangalore satsang, there was a cake cutting ceremony, and a lot of people have gotten opportunities. So we'll get into that. But let's take a few questions before that.
Yes, Radhe Radhe Seema, please go ahead.
Yes. Radhe Radhe
Radhe,
Seema,
yeah.
good to see you back
Thank
in
you,
action.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. Bhaiya, so my question is, I have seen this in Mahabharat television serial, And so Subhadra, she was Krishna's sister. Was she a form of YogMaya? Is it
Yeah,
true?
yeah, she's supposed to be a YogMaya. So YogMaya can also come in basically like God takes multiple avatars at the same time. Right? Subhadra is also known to be YogMaya Shakti of that, and that's what I've heard as well. Yeah, and the
Okay.
other one was his sister, right, whom comes through, and she just manifested that Akashvani happened. That was also YogMaya. So yes, for that matter, yes. YogMaya can also manifest in different forms, and one of them was, I think, Subhadra was also part of that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Vaya. That's it.
For that matter, Radha, this is YogMaya Shakti, right? And then through Radha, the Anshavataras, Rukmani, and others. Anyway, it keeps on getting complicated, but yeah, YogMaya can take on multiple forms as well.
Yes.
Durga, Kali, Parvati, they are all YogMaya. Sita, they're YogMaya, Shakti of God. Yeah.
Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Since we were talking about the Leelas, if we have seen Ramanand Sagarji's Krishna serial, so there also Sudama ji gets beaten by the king soldier, and then he comes back and his wife says, now your Shri Krishna should come and then provide some medicine. I don't have money for medicine and all that. And finally he comes, he has to come. And in the night, he puts everything like the medicine on his injuries, gets healed. So yeah, that's the power of true devotee.
Yeah. So the key is YogMaya power actually enables God to do the impossible feats. Things which are impossible for us to even conceive, right? How can God be this? Some people say that God takes avatar, then how can be present here and there? All the simultaneous things he can get accomplished through his YogMaya power. What enables that energy or ability of God to run that supercomputer with that big data, which can note down the every thought of every क्षण, प्रत्येक क्षण के प्रत्येक संकल्प of प्रत्येक lifetime of every lifetime. What enables that? It's YogMaya power. So God can accomplish amazing things using his YogMaya power. Okay, that separates us from him because we don't have that power, right? In fact, when you become God realized, sadhan siddh or otherwise, you become YogMaya yukt. You become YogMaya yukt. Okay. So YogMaya yukt means you also get YogMaya power of God at that point. You are not the governor of YogMaya at that point, but you become YogMaya yukt. There's a technical difference there as well, but yeah, you also get God's YogMaya power at that point when you become God realized. Okay, couple of other hands.
Yes, Anita ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead. Bangalore.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe,
Yes,
Anita
I
ji.
wanted to share my happiness with you all. Like as of now, I am in Bangalore, so I had the fortunate to meet and greet Swamiji on his
Wonderful.
birthday. I got a cake on my own without thinking. Like he already cut the cake in the morning, but somehow I built up this enthusiasm and fascination. Like I should get a cake and I should celebrate his birthday. So I got a cake and I get to sing the birthday song, stand next to him and sing the song. So that's an unforgettable moment for me. Like I can cherish uh, through my lifetime. So I was super happy and I got my mom there also. So that's a very, very memorable day for me. So I'm very, very happy to share with you all. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Anita ji, for sharing it. I'm sure it's a huge blessing, Maharaja Swamiji, for you to have that privilege. So, yeah, it's great. I can imagine your excitement and the emotions that you would have gone through to be singing happy birthday song for Swamiji. I mean, he doesn't play a lot of importance to his birthday,
Yeah.
but then he plays along with us for our happiness. As you see, right, everything he does for our happiness, and it's very
That's why
sweet.
I didn't share the video. So just I shared on only the photo. That video is only for my personal utilization.
Okay.
So Saundarya just said I should not share it on any platform. So I thought of holding it onto myself.
Completely understand that. Completely understand. But thank you for sharing it with us. Very nice, and we are very happy for you. You could meet him in person and actually got that opportunity. So I saw a lot of good pictures from Bangalore. I think Sri Ramya got an opportunity. Champaji, those pictures are amazing. Would love to hear from you.
Yes, a lot of pictures. I met everyone there, Champaji and Ramyaji and everyone. So very glad to have so many satsangis together at the same platform.
Yeah, I saw those.
Riyaji, Suktiji, and Rachnaji, and so many others. So it's a great blessing in disguise for me. Thank you so much. I
Wonderful,
can cherish
wonderful.
this to
I think the
my whole
timing
life.
could not have been more opportune for you, Anita ji, and I'm glad you were able to meet him. I hope that makes you feel better and
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise because I could not able to go to Swamiji. Instead, Swamiji came towards my place. So that's a real blessing for me. So that's a great opportunity. I cherish that. Thank you so much.
wonderful, wonderful, very nice. Amazing. We can go on to talk about Swamiji, so we'll get into that. Yes, Urvi, you wanted to add something? Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Urvi.
Radhe Radhe. I just had, I mean, it is not, it's a question or not, I don't know. I just wanted to confirm one thing, that in Braj, God always remains unaware of his true identity and also his devotees, and sometimes the Aishwarya Shakti enters and God chides it and it runs away again, and they live normally without realizing who they truly are. I just wanted to confirm if
That's true. God has said, don't you even come here. Aishwarya Shakti, he has banished Aishwarya Shakti from Braj. Right? Because Braj is for very, very special devotees, the cream of the cream. And he doesn't want people. He wants to lose his almightiness, awe and reverence in front of his devotees. And when Aishwarya Shakti comes, it dilutes that experience. And he said, you don't have to come there. So it is Varjit, banished, banned from Braj. Very true. Like a Gyani said, I was seeking out Brahma, I was looking for Brahma, and I saw that Brahma tied up on a tree in Braj. That is the power of love, basically, which God loves. So he said, don't even come that, because he loves that, pure love of devotees, and he does not want to dilute it with his awe and reverence power that on that. And his friends, with his mother, with gopis, that is a very different level of devotion altogether. But you are right, Urvi, that is how it's meant to be. Brajras is reserved for the top of the top of the top devotees, where you get a personal association, interaction, and love of God. And Maharaji has written so much on Brajras. He's like, we can go on speaking about it for hours and hours. But yeah, that's a great point, Urvi. Thank you for bringing that. Champaji wants to share something as well. Yes, Champaji, how was your experience? I saw so many pictures with Swamiji. So
See,
awesome.
that's what I wanted to say. We are Swamiji, even though he's beyond everything, he's God himself. He comes to our level and take patiently photos with all of us and then pulls us up, Any other Swamiji would say, get lost. With each and everyone, he poses a photo, With each and everyone, patiently he poses a photo. I don't think any other Swamiji in this world will do that,
Nobody. They are not approachable. They are not accessible. And Swamijis are only spiritual leader, so to say, I would say. Is much beyond that, of course, who is accessible and so approachable. And when he comes here, he sits with us on the floor and eats as well. And if nothing, he will be hands-on. He'll pick up something and start working also. That is how humble he walks the talk, what he says, and completely self everything for our fun. And he will laugh at our lame jokes also. He will say, as if he has thoroughly enjoyed it. He does that too, by the way. But he's at a different level.
It's true, Nitinji. We had a satsang in one devotee's house, and they had arranged a very nice dinner, and they had arranged for Swamiji and the troop who come along, they are with him on the terrace, and for the rest of us, in the lawn. He said, no, I bring my food here and all those who want to eat can come and sit, I if I go on and on, I can go on and on, but I don't want to go take everybody's time. But one incident I want to express here. I'm crazy for photographs, and especially with Swamiji, I would love to take. I don't know why, even at this age. It's silly, but it is true of me. I bent down to take a photo with him. And when I was about to get up, he told the volunteer in front, please help her. I have a very bad knee. How did he know? That is Swamiji. Nobody else would bother, or even our own children and spouse may not think of us like that, In fact, he is leading me with his hand, in my old age. The kind of peace I experience, after joining JK I cannot express, because I don't have time to bother about anything else other than JK classes, his lectures and things like that. He has kept me so engaged in this. But my family is very happy that I'm fruitfully engaged. They are not grumbling like, why are you doing this? Why are you not serving? In fact, my children are very happy. They say, Amma, don't do anything. Be in the class. That will do. That's giving you happiness and peace. And all the aches and pains we old people have, all the time we'll be complaining only of that if we don't have JKO classes, Nitinji's classes, Swapnaji's classes. But I overly get attached to things. They said detachment, but I'm getting attached to the right things. But we had a very blissful 4 days. Was, the 5th day, it was like, somebody from the family has gone away and there was so much of emptiness. But his discourse was, I'm nobody to compliment, But one more thing is, what I want to say is here, I'm nobody in JKO. I'm insignificant, but he remembers our names. I don't know how it is. Only thrice I have met when he came to Bangalore Association, but he will know our name and call us by name. That will make us literally fly in the air. He will make each devotee happy, like, when you get a darshan of the God, how you feel so elated, he makes you feel. And he is a world-renowned figure. He need not even look at us, actually, for his stature and popularity and strength. People like me, he need not even look at us. That's what all other leaders do. Radhe, Radhe. Sorry, I always take long time.
No, Champaji. Yeah. I'm
Thank
glad
you
you shared. You poured your heart out on what you were feeling, and it is always less. We can never do justice to how much we outpour of emotions we feel for Swamiji. And I would say it's YogMaya Shakti that enables him to become so special that he is okay. Again, YogMaya to work. It is humanly impossible what he does. Writing stuff, pulling out information, giving lectures. You give him not even a minute he needs for preparation. And one of the most amazing things that I've seen about his lectures is when he's clock on time. If it is supposed to end at 9, it will end at 9. And it will never seem like he's rushed, because something, he had to wrap up quickly. He had to just do it. Everything is like perfectly falling into place, and clock at time he'll finish. Just amazing. I mean, you just have to be with him, observe him, and that itself is enough for you, your spiritual growth and inspire you no bounds. So amazing. I'm so glad you were all able to meet him. I can see a couple of other hands. Yes, please. I'd love to hear from you as well.
Yes, Radhe Radhe ji, please go ahead.
Hi, Radhe Radhe Nitinji, Radhe Radhe Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe everyone. So I wanted to talk about that how Champa ji really called me, and I could hear from her voice. Her voice was shaking that day when she spoke with me,
And she was so happy. I could sense that voice. And I'm so thankful to Champaji for she really helped my brother trying to meet Swamiji in Bangalore. She has been really, everybody over there has been very helpful. And my brother had such a great feeling. He said that he couldn't believe that he was again in front of Swamiji after so many years. And he was so excited and he was so happy. So I wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Pallaviji. That's nice, right? I mean, part of this small family that we have, we are able to, build that connection and bridges and help each other out. Champaji in Bangalore and somebody else in Delhi, and how we can connect, network, and facilitate each other's meeting Swamiji. Thank you, Champaji. Champaji is just like my mom. Always keep on saying that, and she's been here right from day one. Not day one, I mean pretty early on when we started off, and it's always a pleasure to hear her and her enthusiasm. And she's like very regular in these sessions, or always a pleasure to hear from her. And I'm so glad, Champaji, you were able to meet, you and your husband, both of you were able to meet Swamiji and got good time with him. So thank you very much for sharing that. All right. Yes, Poonamji, thank you for turning on your video. It's a pleasure to see you. I think it's the first time you're doing that, but yes, we'd love to hear from you.
Radhe Radhe, first of all, the whole JK Yog team, gratitude from bottom of my heart that each and every cell is thanking to you, Guruji, and the whole team, the way you are trying to pull us, you are holding our hand. I am not able to say, these words are not sufficient. And the level of intellect and the way you are teaching all of us, it's really, really, really amazing. And Champaji also said that, Lord Krishna, I think about this beautiful family from Morning Gems. I connect to Morning Gems also. This all happened, very surprisingly. One gentleman called me that all the journey of this spiritual journey also already. I had started my Bhagavad Gita classes. So I was somewhere, missed. I was not able to connect with the Krishna. I was not able to connect with the Guru. Till this team had taught me that how to connect with God and what actually God is, how to love, not to make him, not to feel that God is a, some statue or something like that. Love him. The way unconditionally you have to love him. I'm really, really thankful. I think my words are not sufficient to express my feelings, but gratitude to all the team, Morning Gems, and the people, those who are there to connect me, to show me the way. Nitinji, I think God is, it's near to us actually. We are not able to feel him. He comes in one or other way, right? So the gentleman who told me that, you have to understand what is how to love Krishna, this and that. I ate his head for half an hour because of with my silly questions. So he said, said this, you will get all the answers joining Morning Gems. I am really, really, really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying uplifting my spiritual day, Kripaluji and Guruji's. I mean, whole day I keep on listening him, and I am only on my ultimate bliss. Thank you so much. I think we don't need not to eat anything. We not to fulfill our bodily requirement. I'm feeling my heart. Thank you so much. Gratitude.
Thank you,
Radhe Radhe.
Poonamji. Where are you joining us from?
I'm from Delhi.
Oh, you're from Delhi. You been attending these sessions frequently, or?
It's been 1 month or 1.5 months.
Very nice. I'm glad you are attending Morning Gems and these sessions as well. So yes, we have so many inspiring sessions going on, and because of Swamiji's grace and Maharajji's grace, we are fortunate to have these satsangs, throughout. Pretty much you have so many choices actually, where you can do this satsang around the clock, I would say. And I'm glad you feel inspired and you are taking the full benefit out of it, and keep doing it. And I'm sure as we go along, it will only get better. This thirst will keep growing, and you'll start feeling more and more inspiration. That is how it goes, basically. Yes, Poonamji, quickly.
One more question I want to know, that during day, means in the morning, that these meetings goes on, and in the evening also it's around 6:30 start JK Yog start those meetings. Is there something in between, like the daytime something is there? I have no idea actually.
Daytime, I don't know, like Doordarshan right now, there are limited timing. It'll take a while before it becomes cable TV. But afternoon, I think they are very limited sessions. It's only mornings and evenings, because most of the volunteers, if you look at it, they are working. So once they are fired from their job, or they quit their job and do full-time seva, then I think we'll have full day sessions also. But I think right now, maybe few sessions during afternoon hours, but I think it's morning and evening only right now. But you can check it out on the website. It has the details of all the sessions that you can, pick and choose from. But I'm very happy for you. Whichever gentleman called you, he was truly a gentleman, I would say, who inspired you to start joining these sessions. And I can assure you this journey will get sweeter and more beautiful as you go along. So that much I can promise you for sure. Thank you so much. Pleasure to
thank
see
you,
you and
thank you,
hear from
Radhe.
you,
Radhe,
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe, Radhe,
So
Radhe.
good to hear you, Poonamji. And I think you can also join the WhatsApp group of JK Yoga online classes. There you will get updates about all the classes
All the
that are
sessions you
going
will
on.
get here.
So
How come I know that what is the WhatsApp group?
So you fill in the feedback tracker today. I
yeah.
will be in touch with you. I'll give you all the information around it. Please
Okay,
fill the
okay.
feedback tracker. Maybe somebody can post the feedback
Yeah, I'll
tracker. If not,
repost it. Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so by the way, session is
Thank you.
over, but we are extending it today because we started talking about Swamiji and a lot of people wanted to share their experience. So let's continue a little bit more. We can swap it for our devotional segment. And Sandhya, you wanted to show some videos as well. We can show that as well, but let's hear a couple of hands and make the announcements if we have any.
Right now? Okay, first so announcements mainly, let's celebrate Swamiji's birthday now. But yeah, I mean, we have a feedback tracker that I've already posted. There will be a sadhana shivir in Banara or Bara, whatever. I think Bara is the right pronunciation, in Odisha, where 5-day long, 7-day long family camp, sort of a shivir, which you all can attend virtually as well. So I have posted the link for it, and please consider registering for it. Apart from that, family camp in US announcement is out. So there is a discount going on right now. So early bird offer. So you can register for that as well. I think these are the major 2 announcements, which I've also posted. Yeah. Okay, Ashutosh.
And Give and Get campaign, if you're not already part of our team, please do check it out and join our team, join hands with us. We have a lot of inspired participants. It's going to pick up momentum now. Okay, Urvi is leading the pack, so kudos to Urvi. And you all are welcome to join our team, and let's do it together. Okay, Ashutosh, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Swamiji was in Hyderabad last 5 days, and I can say this was the best 5 days of my life till now, actually. In future, if you meet Swamiji, it may be much better. In fact, I attended Sivir also, but this closeness we cannot get in Sivir because there are so many people Swamiji have to give every time. And here Swamiji was actually first, he came in other house, but there were limited space. And we are so many devotees wanted to stay with him. So immediately he said, next we move to other house.
Okay.
It shows means how Swamiji means think all of us and how he grace and many things people are like talk, and we enjoyed a lot. Means in morning Swamiji dot, if see 7:30, he came 7:30 to room for morning walk, and that day it was little raining, but Swamiji said let's go, let's say. And when Swamiji went, rain stopped, I can say. What is like that means it's like that. And we played cricket with him, balls with him, and what a 6 he hits. Really, it was amazing. And
very nice.
Means he have labeled to everyone, you can say. It's means
very nice.
it is difficult to find a person means who is God realized and available to everyone like this. And like that, he said, no, he knows everyone's problem also, how they are going. And he personally called me and asked about all those things and told me, I don't think I can fulfill that. I don't know, I can say sorry to him, but he knows. He knows everything.
He knows everything.
Right.
He will tell you about things that you're not even asking and going on in your mind.
Yes.
And he will tell you things, that can surprise you. So, yeah.
Yes, I felt that, I realized that, but we are means fallen, what can we say? But he knows and he will take care of that for sure.
And
One
you
way
don't
or
have to be in
another.
person in front of him. Even on a camera, he can tell you what's going on in your mind. Okay.
Yes, yes. He personally means one day means I used to be on same home he stayed. 5 days I took leave and I was there, but one day some work came, so I came early in office, and that day he came and asked where is Astos, and that day I was not available and feel so bad that day. But that day next means morning breakfast was there with him, so I went there. So he called me and talked about those things. Means told me you can go ahead like that, but I don't know I can go ahead or not. But yes, I don't know
Let's
if I'm
talk
doing
about it.
now.
Let's talk about it offline. Okay. All right. Then that is good. But now you can probably compose a song like Brian Adams. Those were the best days, 5 days of my life. Okay.
Yes, yes. It was really amazing. Cannot be explained in words. Rather,
Winter of 22. You can create your album. Okay. Instead of summer of 69. Great,
thank you,
Ashutoshi.
Nitin.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Akshataji, you are a florist, right? And I think you presented a bouquet to Swamiji. Please go ahead.
Radhe, Radhe. Yes, Radhe, Radhe. And it's really an opportunity for me. I don't know somehow we connected with Veena ji. Actually, I should really thank Ramya for all these things. So she only made me to attend these classes, and she is just, I don't know, she is a force behind my, she is a force for me, for my spiritual growth.
Very nice.
She's like, I don't know how much thank I should tell. I had a chance to meet him in his guest house also. I sat him behind, next to him there. He only called me. He recognizes me, and he knows my name also. He asked, it seems, Veena ji also regarding this. Where is she? I left a little early. So he asked, it seems, where is Akshita ji? Like that and all. So I really felt so happy for it. So I had a chance to do a little seva from my side. So that is
Wonderful.
one thing. And one thing I really had a doubt. I don't know, whatever I do, I'm not able to believe myself. That's what I just thought it. I just did my best, and really feel okay. I would have even more bettered it or something like that. So I seriously, I feel I'm not up to that, or I would have even bought a good flowers, even more good design, something like that. I am thinking.
No
So
worries.
is it
You get
enough?
multiple opportunities, and it's not the gift of the giver, it's the love behind the gift. So he catches that part, which is very nice. And I see you have tied up with Shri Ramya on the Give and Get campaign as well, which is wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Very nice. Very nice. And you said how many times you have to say thanks? I think six times is good enough. Okay. So that much is good enough for Shri Ramya, but I'm glad she inspired you and you picked up that inspiration and took initiative to meet him. That is great, right? I mean, if you get an opportunity, not meet him, that is what it is. But you took that opportunity. That is very commendable. So I'm glad, very happy for you in that sense. Great. So all of you, I think, who have gotten an opportunity to meet Swamiji, I'm sure you will keep that inspiration, and it would take your spiritual journey to a different level. It makes a lot of a difference. For those of you who are still sitting on the fence and thinking what difference will it make, it will make a big difference, trust me. So make out time, make out opportunity to meet him in person. That will do a world of good for your life and your spiritual progress. And what you feel and experience is something you can't express. It's just a matter of experience. and don't lose out on that opportunity, because we will only get limited opportunities in life like that. And we are extremely fortunate to have a mentor. Not everybody gets that, and that to a mentor who's very approachable. He can get to your personal level and talk to you. I don't think anybody can humanly do that in today's world. And if you have somebody and you're missing out on that opportunity, then you can only imagine how big of a loss it is. Okay, so do make it a priority and meet him whenever you can at the earliest. Yes, Swatiji, you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Yeah, even I got the chance to meet Swamiji and I was so thrilled. I was literally crying in front of him. First day I could not stop myself. I was in his feet talking to him, telling him whatever I'm doing, I'm attending the sessions and I'm whatever small sevas, whatever I could do, I'm doing, I'm trying my best. So he was like, he gave so many tips also. So he told something that you do this way, do like that. So it was like very happy meeting him. And I was, even I took the pic with him, and two more girls who were doing co-hosting, they were also there. So Rashna Didi, she introduced all of us three to Swamiji, that these three are doing small sevas in our JK Yog. Then I told him that you suggest what seva I should do. I don't know what to do, but whatever you will tell, I'll do that. Then he said, okay, I'll talk to Rachna and everybody, and then I'll tell you, means to them, I'll tell what to do.
Wonderful.
Right now, you just focus on. So it was very nice meeting him. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Swati. Yeah, I think Swamiji is used to people coming to him and just looking at him. And some people coming to him just getting blank, or some people coming to him and just start crying. So he's used to all the expressions. But yes, it's very spontaneous and very natural to have tears, as well when you get in front of him. Yeah, a lot of emotions can come, and some emotions that will surprise you as well. Very nice, and thank you for sharing that, Swatiji. Anybody else who wanted to share something? I think we celebrated Swamiji's birthday in best possible manner by talking about him and hearing about the experiences everybody had. That was a time well spent after our session today. We'll continue on our journey on YogMaya tomorrow. Anybody else who wanted to say something?
Can I share that video?
Sure. Yeah, I think you wanted to share. Yeah, we haven't so far. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Actually, there are two. So maybe first this and then
Sure. Go ahead.
the bhajan one. Share sound, yeah. Okay. I mean, I think some of us have already seen it, but
no worries. Let's play it.
हम सबकी आशा हो खुशियाँ हमारी, हर खूबी रब ने है आप में उतारी, है खुशबू तुम्हारी जो अमृत की धारा, है खुशबू तुम्हारी जो अमृत की धारा, मुबारक हो तुमको जन्मदिन तुम्हारा.
No prizes for guessing who has put together this beautiful song and pictures together. All right, that's none other than our Sandhya. There was another video you wanted to show?
yeah, this is a bhajan on daily sadhana, where it's very delightful. I mean, watching Swamiji singing this bhajan,
Alright,
this is just a fraction of that big bhajan, but I thought we can all watch it and savor it. Yeah.
राधे राधे टुक निज झलक दिखा दे, राधे राधे टुक निज झलक दिखा दे, राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे. राधे राधे सेवा प्यास बढ़ावे
राधे राधे सेवा प्यास बढ़ावे
राधे राधे ब्रज रस चस्का लगावे
राधे राधे ब्रज रस चस्का लगावे
राधे राधे
राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद 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 राधे
That's it.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandhya, for that beautiful. So, those of you who are planning for the family camp, brace up for Hanuman Paddhati Kirtan style, which means you'll have to dance. And Swamiji makes sure everybody dance. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience. And if you have attended retreats with him or planning to attend, you should brace up for Hanuman Paddhati kind of a kirtan, which he's very adept at making everybody dance. Okay. This is what he says. He said that when you dance, all your sins, they fly away like birds. Okay. And then he says, so where do those birds go with sins? They sit on people who are not dancing. So the people who are sitting, they also stand up and start dancing. So everybody dances basically. It's a very nice way of getting engaged. So very nice. I think it was a wonderful session today. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And happy birthday to Swamiji from our side once again. And thank you, Sandhya, for bringing in those two treats for us and for everybody for sharing your experience of meeting Swamiji and how it has been special for you. We can't thank him enough. And it's an ongoing gratitude for him, the very basis for why we are sitting here today and discussing this divine knowledge. And the least we can do is to continue practicing it and treading this path that makes God and Guru very happy, especially when we try to bring in this knowledge to our practice and seriously try to implement it. So that's the best gift we can give back to them as well. So with that, I wish you the very best. Good night, good day, stay blessed, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Radhe Radhe from my side.
Yeah, thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. See you tomorrow.